In this video, I'm going to teach you the basics of creating schedules using software. Specifically in this class, we're going to go over using Microsoft Project and Primavera P6. Before we open any of those software packages, I need to go over the fundamentals of what the software is asking from you to create the schedule that you need. Both software packages need the information of duration and predecessor of the activity. That's the two primary key things that you need to input into the software to get the schedule that you want. Both software packages ask for both of these. Now, we're going to go through this worksheet to help explain this better. I've given you a pre-established schedule that you'll be recreating, similar to your homework. And below, I've given you an entry table. Both software packages have a similar looking entry table just like this, where they ask the minimum of task name, duration, and predecessor. Now, I previously just said the primary things that these software packages need is the duration and the predecessor, but I also have the task name here. Well, the software package doesn't care what you call the task name. That's for you, for the reader, for the person who's going to be interpreting the schedule later on, because you could type in whatever you want, and it has no bearing on the output of the schedule timing-wise. So you could put in, for the example here, the S, Y, J, B, L, the letters. You could put it in actual construction or manufacturing activities, haul material, lift things, connect things, whatever that may be. The software doesn't care. It does care, though, where you put it in the table. So, for example, if I'm going to start recreating this schedule, I would probably start by putting in the first activity, S, because that just feels natural. We read in English left to right. That's the first activity, so we might want to put S right here. Then, looking at the schedule, I would say that that's 1. Its duration is 1. Right now, in this example, we're not going to worry about units as far as days, weeks, seconds, or whatever that is. I'll show you more about that in the actual software. Right now, it's just 1, whatever that is. Well, then it asks for what its predecessor is. Well, it doesn't have a predecessor. It's the first activity, so putting nothing is perfect. Then you might naturally, in the second position, put J, because we would go from top to bottom and left to right. So you might go J, and then you put its duration in of 2 arbitrary units. Well, then it's asking for what its predecessor is. Well, J's predecessor is S. You might naturally want to put S here. Well, like I said, the software doesn't care what you have written here, so it's not going to understand what S is. What it does understand is whatever is written in the position 1. That's why this table is numbered right here, position 1 through however many activities you have. So, the predecessor to J is what is written in position 1, so you put numbers here referring to the position. So position 1 is the predecessor to activity that is written in position 2. Okay, so that's why it doesn't make the software doesn't care what wording is here. Okay, so whatever you have worded right here is the predecessor to whatever you have worded right here. But to note with this fundamental exercise is we could all arrive and produce this same exact schedule, but we could all do it different ways. I could, instead of putting J as my second one, what if I like to work from the bottom up? What if I put Y right here? And that duration is 6. Well, because the software doesn't care what I type in, it just cares position-wise. Well, conveniently, the predecessor to Y is also position, whatever's in position 1, which is S. Well, what if I want a little crazier and put V as my second activity with a duration of 5? Well, you're going to ask yourself, what is the predecessor to that? Well, it is L is the immediate predecessor to V, but L is not even in the table yet. Well, that's perfectly fine. We could still arrive at the same equation and the same answer by later on typing D in. or sorry, L, the predecessor to it. L has a predecessor or duration of 3, and its predecessor, I don't know yet that one yet, but I do know that this, whatever's in position 3, is the predecessor to B, so I will put 3 there. Remember, a number goes into the predecessor column referring to the position. Okay, so the easiest way to actually recreate a schedule and kind of not get yourself confused is you would probably print this out, and I would write on the page a 1 up here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or whichever order that you want, and then work off of that, and that will help you to make this schedule a lot better. So I'm going to do just that, but I'm not going to write on it because since I'm using Microsoft Office, I'm just going to have it sort of in my head. So S, Y, predecessor, 0. The next one would be J, duration of 2. Its predecessor is whatever in position 1. The next one is Y with a duration of 6. And its predecessor is whatever in position 1. In position 4, I'm going to write B, and its duration is 8, I can see from the schedule. Its predecessor is whatever in position 2, which is J, and Y, which is in position 3. So if it has multiple predecessors, you just do comma, then that number. Moving on, 5 would be L for me, and its duration is 3, and its predecessor is Y, which is in position 3. 6, I'm going to write C, its duration is 3, and its predecessor is Y, which is in position 3. 7 is N, its duration is 2, its predecessor is B and L. Remember, it's the immediate predecessor only. B is in position 4, and L is in position 5. Okay, and then 8. I'm going to write V. It has a duration of 5. Its predecessor, immediate one only, is L, and that's in position 5. Moving on, 9, I'm going to put M. Its duration is 6. It has 2 predecessors, C and L. C is written in position 6. L is written in position 5. See, I could have also written 5, 6. That will also work. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be in order numerically. We're going upwards. So 6, 5 also works. That was L and C. And then in position 10, I'm going to do I. It has a duration of 6. And its predecessors are N, V, and M. N is in position 7. V is in position 8, and M is in position 9. So I could have multiple predecessors. You just do a comma, add the number. And 11, lastly, is A. It has a duration of 5, and its predecessor is I, which is just 10. These 2 letters, don't worry about them. They just got justified in the middle. That's it. This is the fundamental principles of creating a schedule in Microsoft Project and Primavera P6. I created this just to get the fundamentals of understanding what is needed and how it's going to work. Duration is needed, the predecessor is needed, and the position of where they are is needed. We can all get the same schedule at the end of the day as long as we are consistent with what the predecessors actually are and at what position they are in. I'm going to break these videos up into multiple parts. This is the first part. After this, we'll get into Microsoft Project and then P6.